Alright everybody, welcome back to a new video. So I wanted to do a build guide here for my Omni Trinity Tornado Shot Deadeye build. I had a couple people ask me to make a build guide because they're interested in what all I'm using. I do have the path of building linked as well, but I just thought I would show everybody the exact gear that I'm using so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm working with here. So I do have a video on how to make this exact bow. So I bought a fractured base with a cold damage. It is going to be tier 2. I don't think you can get tier 1 right now, they're super expensive. But basically if you get any fire, cold, or lightning fractured base, then if, as you see on here, I used cold, so I used Deafening Essences of Anger. As you can see there, the Essence mod on there for fire damage. And then you just hope to get, you know, high lightning damage, because you already have the fractured cold damage, so you don't have to worry about that one. And then I got lucky rolling this, as you'd see in the video if you watch it, to get attack speed and accuracy actually on the roll. I didn't craft that or anything. I got super lucky on that. I haven't divined that chance to deal double damage, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference to me. I still pretty much kill anything. So there's my bow. We'll go through the sockets on that. So we got Awakened Elemental Damage with attacks, Divergent Inspiration Trinity, Divergent Tornado Shot, Awakened Greater Multiple Projectile Support. So that's a level 5 with 23% quality. That one's pretty expensive. We'll check here the price on that. Let's see, one out here. So yeah, there's that one's level 6, so that makes a pretty big difference. But there's only one apparently out there right now. Let's see. Yeah. Well, there's none for sale right now. There we go. So level 5, 20% quality is 33 exalts. And then we've got just increased critical damage, which gives you that extra critical strike multiplier. Helmet here got as an enchant with the Tornado Shot fires an additional secondary projectile enchant on it. And it's divined up to get that 15% increased attack speed. So what this does is it triggers a socketed spell when you attack with a bow. So what it does is the enhance here that I've got adds 24% quality to all these gems, or to 2 of them. So it casts Sniper's Mark on what you hit, and then it'll give you a power charge if you do a critical strike with Hydrosphere. And they are changing Hydrosphere, so I'm not sure how much this is going to affect this build, but we'll see. So basically this helmet kind of activates all this. So then go to the ring here. So it's a corrupted ring with the increased strength and dexterity, which helps with the omniscience. And it's not great, but it helps with the resistances. And obviously I bought this off trade and got the extra 16% elemental resistances. They're changing this as well to take 15 instead of 10, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of work. I've been trying to get more stats to make up for that, but we'll see what happens when the league starts and everything takes effect. So armor here, so I crafted this, just spamming essences, getting that chance to suppress spell damage as high as I could get it. And then I think I actually just used strength, so let's see, show you exactly what essence that is. So that is this Screaming Essence of Rage. So I use Deafening Essences of Rage to get guarantee strength, and then it's a Zodiac leather, so you'll usually always get dexterity, and just spam them until you get tier 1 spell suppression, and then yeah, craft on elemental ailments. When you do the Eldritch currency, you can actually spam Eldritch Chaos Orbs. Let's see if I got one in here. So basically if the Syrian Exarch is dominant, then it'll reroll your prefix modifiers. So once you get your suffixes how you want them, so the high strength, spell suppression, and then any kind of attribute, as long as Syrian Exarch is dominant, so if you don't have any of the Eldritch mods on there, then just hit it with, you know, just a lesser Eldritch Ember, and then that'll technically make it dominant. And then you can just spam these until you get T1 life. I got T1 life and then evasion, and I got lucky and didn't have an extra prefix, so I was able to craft chance to avoid ailments because I want to be ailment immune, as well as have 100% spell suppression. So obviously Crystalized Omniscience. That's, you know, it is what it is. It's got the utmost intellect on there to give me extra 40 intelligence and 8% increased intelligence. Basically, if you don't know what this does, instead of having to have a certain amount of strength or a certain amount of dexterity to use your gear, it uses this and it converts everything into omniscience. So as you can see there, you get an extra 1% of all elemental resistances to per 10. Now it's going to change to 15, so we'll see. It's going to take a lot of reworking to get this, I think, as usable as it is now, but we'll see. So basically all of your attribute modifiers convert into omniscience, and then it penetrates 1% elemental resistance, and then the requirements there, so the higher it goes from 15 to 25. So the highest is 25, and that will basically take less attributes to satisfy it. So I'll go over here and I can show you that right there. So I have 1247 right now. And that's basically all of strength, intelligence, and dexterity. Because I'm a ranger, you know, dexterity's just naturally higher. If you're like a witch, intelligence is higher, and so on. So everything gets converted to this, and then it kind of builds everything off of that. So your resistance, and then your penetration. The other ring I got, it's just, you know, more attributes, and non-channeling skills helps, and a little bit of chaos resistance. Quiver here, so I actually bought this off trade. I did not craft this, wasn't that lucky, but you know, the critical strike multiplier helps. Additional arrow definitely helps, and damage with bow skills, and then just craft attack speed. You know, you can spam some essences or get lucky, and then, you know, just get the best bow you can and use Path of Building, and then hopefully you'll have a open suffix if you don't have attack speed on it, and then you can just craft it on there. So gloves, I actually made a build guide on how to make gloves for this. I switched them out because I needed more chaos resistance. I actually sold them the other day, or I would show them to you. But you get spell suppression, you know, dexterity, and T1 life, and then you just craft on damage while leeching, because you're always leeching. This, I posted a video on the super lucky double corrupt that I got on my headhunter. That it's real lucky. So that obviously helps with attributes as well. But you know, it's a headhunter. These boots here, so I actually bought, I upgraded my boots, or changed them a little bit, I guess. I've got my high resire and my other boots that I use as well. But I just bought a fractured base with spell suppression. And then what you do here is you use the deafening essence of loathing. As you can see there, boots, it's a chance to avoid elemental ailments. So I just spam those until I got an attribute, because they're kind of expensive. And then I made it Syrian Exarch dominant, and just hit it with a couple Eldritch Chaos Orbs until I got T2 life, which anything that's better than crafted is good enough. I think crafted is 70, so I got 75. And then I got evasion, which is kind of junk, but, and I just crafted on movement speed and onslaught. I'm using Bottled Faith, just, you know, for that extra damage and critical strike chance. Just a regular life flask. I'm not using Corrupted Blood, and I'll show you why, because I do have a gem that has it on there. It's movement speed, increased movement speed of their cast effect, or flask effect. Evasion with increased critical strike chance, and a diamond flask with double increased critical strike chance. So I am ailment immune right now because of those. As you can see there, I got 35 plus 20 on the implicit, and then I've got 25% chance on the body armor. And then if we go to skill tree, get 4, 4, 4, and 8. So that makes me 100% ailment immune. So if I don't want to be ailment immune and I want to do more damage, which it's a decent amount more damage, I use High Desire. Just because of that cold damage with bow attacks, it makes a big difference. Still gives you spell suppression, which is nice. And then these are the other boots that I used, which gives you extra chaos resistance from the Siren Exarch implicit. Movement speed, chaos resistance. I'm liking this version of the build. So it's a little more tanky, and I don't die as much. I play in standard, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's still annoying to die. So we'll go through the rest of the gems here. So the Ballista Totem support, elemental damage with attacks, increased critical damage again, focus ballista, just regular greater multiple projectiles, and then another divergent tornado shot. And run anger, level 4 enlighten, Valgrace, and precision. And then here we've got level 19 vitality. I do have enough mana to get it up to 20, but I haven't leveled it up yet. Just regular steel skin on the left mouse click, flame dash, and then blood rage for more attack speed and leech. All right, so go to the skill tree and show you what we're working with here. So got endless munitions, 2 additional projectiles, ricochet, gathering winds to get gale force and tailwind, which is nice because it increases your attack speed, your action speed, which is attack speed, and then increased effective marks with focal point. So hit with Sniper's Mark with our as an S chant, so that helps out a lot. So Sniper's Mark, in case you weren't aware, you gain a life flask charge and a mana flask charge. However, they are taking that away, so we'll see. I don't know. The projectiles which hit cursed enemies split. That helps as well. There's a lot of splitting going on when you're firing. So Watcher's Eye here, I got precision, attack speed, life gain for each enemy hit while affected by vitality. And then fire damage leeches life when affected by anger because I do use anger. The attack speed helps a lot, but it's mainly just that life gain because you're hitting so much and so many things, and every single hit you get 21 life. So it adds up really, really fast. Grace, Reservation, then for Cluster Jewels, you got Feed the Fury, Feel the Fight, and Martial Prowess. So Martial Prowess gives you obviously attack speed, attack damage, accuracy, and damage with ailments. Then damage leached with life, increased damage while leeching, and increased attack speed while leeching because we are always leeching. That one's a big one. Some more attack speed, damage leeches mana, and some more damage while leeching. And then all 4 of my medium cluster jewels are all the same, aside from the other implicits, but eye to eye and repeater. So you got projectile damage and increased projectile damage with hits against nearby enemies, and then projectile damage and attack and cast speed. So there's an interrogation, which Secrets of Suffering. So basically what this does is instead of getting Ignite, Chill, Freeze, or Shock, it actually inflicts Scorch, Brittle, or Sapped. So you can read it there. The main portion for me is the critical strike chance. You get a 100% crit chance. And obviously sapped enemies, as you can see, their deals 20% less damage. Scorch enemies lower their element resistance based on the fire damage they have. So we've got this. Replica conquers efficiency with the Corrupted Blood corruption on it. That one helps a lot. It's a pretty big difference. Increases in direction of projectile speed, also apply to damage. Some crit strike multiplier against unique enemies. Precision, so we can run level 21 precision. And just increase max life recovery rate. We've got the Lethal Pride here. I need to divine this a little better, but it helps me with, totem speed. Get a little bit of max life there. And yeah. Crit strike chance is increased by chance to suppress spell damage. So once you get to 100%, then that gives you a 100% critical strike chance. Just more projectile speed. Then this one you can take the strength, intelligence, or dexterity. Doesn't really matter. So vitality has 100% increased mana reservation efficiency, so I should be able to run a level 20 vitality. It just helps with life regen. And then obviously you have this on here, so you need to run vitality. I would say it's pretty much not optional. And as I said before, you got these ones right here that give you the ailment, elemental ailment immunity. Culling Strike against marked enemies, so you pretty much always have Culling Strike. And then some more increased effects of your marks. And then just Feed the Fury, Martial Prowess. Then these same medium cluster jewels. And then just some jewels to get some more life. A little bit of reduced mana cost. And just some more attributes. Probably have to change these and get better attributes once the new league takes effect. As far as the Pantheon goes, I just use Soul of Lunaris, just avoiding projectiles, so you don't get off-screened. Avoid projectiles that have chained, and then this one helps a lot. So this should hopefully kind of work with the changes that they're doing to Sniper's Mark, so you don't gain life flasks. As long as you can run around for a little bit, you'll gain life flask charges. And then life recovery from flasks when used on low life. So these are the ones that I like to use, but you can kind of scroll through here and look around and see which one works for you. Sometimes I'll switch to where is it? This one. In case I just the Burning Crown's annoying, so it helps when it doesn't do anything to you. All right, we'll go over to Path of Building, and then I'll kind of show the exact damage numbers that we're working with here. So the one thing to note is the reason why you should use Path of Building. I'm not doing 89,000 DPS. So that's just based off of one arrow. So as you can see there, I fire 9 arrows just on my right hand. And then my totems do 46,000, but each totem fires 8. So I can fire up to 3. Quick note here, if you do want to get an extra totem, you can take watchtowers right here, or you can put watchtowers on here instead of utmost intellect, and that will give you an additional totem. So just something to take note of. All right, so Path of Building here, as you can see, same skill tree, nothing changed here. So this shows 1.1 million DPS, which is obviously with the culling DPS. So full DPS 72 million. That's with 9 arrows and 24 arrows from the totems. 100% spell suppression. Got about 85% resistances. -3 chaos. Not great, but you do a lot of damage. You can get away with chaos resistance. Really, the only time it ever really bothers me is if I'm doing a juiced hunter. As you can see here, same skills. It's all in there. It's all the items we got here. So the one thing you want to do is when you do import your build into Path of Building, if you are using really any build, you always want to make sure that you check configuration. So I do use power charges, and I get frenzy charges from Blood Rage, and then Gale Force, Onslaught, Tailwind. Are you leeching? If you're, I explained this a little bit in the how to use Path of Building, but I'll say it again. If you're ever wondering why your numbers aren't adding up, if you want to try and copy my build or somebody else's build, it doesn't matter what kind of build, and they're doing 70 million damage like I am, and you're only getting like 40, and you're looking at your gear and everything pretty much matches up. It's probably because your configuration hasn't been set up. So as you can see here, if I take off leeching, it drops down to 59. And because I have so many nodes that have damage with leeching, plus it's on my gloves, it makes a big difference. And then this will also make a big difference as well over here. So if I do no, this is just a regular monster in a map. Not a boss, just a regular white, maybe blue monster. I'm doing 85 million. What you want to do is click the Guardian Pinnacle bosses, and this will give you an accurate estimate of what your damage is. Guardian Pinnacle bosses, so something like Cyrus or Maven or, you know, any of the Sentinel bosses, Guardians, obviously. So if you want to check to see how much damage you can do in Delirious maps, if I do 100% Delirious, it drops a lot. I only do 2 million. I can run 80% Delirious maps pretty well. I don't really ever die, just because I do, you know, about 60 million DPS. 60 million or 60% feels real good. I pretty much just zoom through those. This build is roughly pretty much based on Path of Mass. Tornado Shot build, he gets about 200 million. So the reason for that is that his bow, he actually has +3 arrows. Bow attacks fire 3 additional arrows on his bow, and he has, I think, 2 on his quiver. So he's getting like an extra 4 arrows. So the way that you change that is when you go into skills, how it says full DPS right here. If you click this button, then it creates this block right here. So if I go through here, I'll just show you here. So if I uncheck all of these, that option or that stat will go away. It'll still tell you, you know, which thing you're using here. So 4 million for my bow. And then if you click on your bow, it'll put it down here. So that takes into account all 9 arrows. So if I just put 1, then it's the same number. But because when you go here and then you hover over this, it'll tell you that it fires 9 arrows. So then you just type 9. Just, you know, do a little math and see here. These are the totems. It fires 8 arrows. I can use 3. So, and you can see maximum 3 summon totems. So 3 times 8. So you go to your totems here, put in 24, full DPS. You can add all this to, these will change some of the stats over there as well, like grace and stuff like that. So hit pool and evasion rating. You can turn on Val Grace or just regular grace. Blood Rage. So the main ones you want to do are your actual skills that you're attacking stuff with. It's very build dependent though as well. Alright, well thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified of the next video. If you have any questions or you want to know how to craft something that I haven't posted a video for, just leave me a comment and I will do my best to make a video on how to craft it.